Cats. 11,000 years ago, humans domesticated these lethal hunters to eat rodents, give companionship, and make biscuits. Now cut to 2022, and Nintendo, the cultural powerhouse that it is, drops a weed cat, forcing us to ask the question, can you beat a hardcore Pokemon Violet Nuzlocke with cats? Here are the rules for a hardcore Nuzlocke. Feel free to pause if you clicked on this video just for the cats and have no idea what a Nuzlocke is. But enough kidding around. The challenge run starts meow. Hi, I'm Meow, you're you, and this is what I would look like if I was 32% cat. However, before the run can even start, my mother forces me into my outlandish school uniform. No, like seriously, what is this hat? What are we doing? Can you guess what starter I'm gonna choose? Of course, Sprigatito is our choice, and I decided to name it Little Sump after my incredible girlfriend, who actually just recently became a cat lover. Lil Sump and I have our first battle against new rival Nemona. A super effective move at level 5 makes the battle a breeze. 2 leafages do the trick, and I would just like to thank you, Game Freak, for, just making every new Pokemon game a little bit easier. Gone are the days where I lose to my rival in the first battle. Gary, if you're listening to this, I'm coming for you, bro. I say one last bye to mom, and now we're off. Our journey to school includes Lechonk, the sweetest, most savory oinker around, who sadly is not a cat and must be dealt with accordingly. Houndoom, who tries to murder me in a cave, proving once and for all that cats rule, dogs drool. Maraiden, who saves me from the aforementioned Houndoom. And Arvin, some guy who's got a squirrel. Pretty sure cats eat squirrels, so we're good. Also, quick shout out to Ruben the janitor. Told me to have a safe trip. The bro. The massive gates of Mezagoza will not open for me until I beat Nemona in another battle. This time, she's coming with 2 Pokemon, so out goes my only cat as she leads with Quaxley. We go for Hone Claws to boost attack and accuracy, while she uses Work Up, boosting attack and special attack. I return with Leafage, hoping for a kill. The duck survives with 10%. Elgato is hit with a mild water gun, and we kill with another Leafage. While it is unfortunate to kill Donald Duck again so soon, it is imperative for my success at school. Next out is Palmy, who Nemona reveals can terrastalize. Terrastalizing is this generation's gimmick, giving the Pokemon that terras the single type, in Palmot's case, electric, and then doubling the power of those same type moves, a la Thundershock. We knew this going in, so I decided to teach Lil Sump Mud Slap to deal super effective damage to Palmy and then maybe get some misses from the accuracy drop. Palmy terrastalizes immediately as I go for Mud. Oh no, I went for Bite. And then we get paralyzed. Palmy returns with a Thunder Shock as I sit and watch my poor innocent cat undergo electric shock therapy. But on the next turn, we finish Palmy with a Bite, beating Nemona twice in the span of about a minute. While trekking through the city on our way to Uva Academy, we have our first run-in with Team Star, who seem to be schmoozing what looks like a fellow feline friend and their adorable Eevee backpack. Defending my new friend's honor, I challenge Team Star, who seem to be the best dressed, but also the most depressed evil team ever created. Here I'm finally able to use Mud Slap against the absolute best doofus Pokemon, Shrootle, knocking him out with 3 Mud Slaps. After establishing dominance over the first Team Star member, I received the Terra Orb from Nemona, giving us the ability to terrastalize. This new gimmick allows Little Sump to Terra and absolutely squash the next Team Star grunt. After the battle though, the Eevee stand thanks me, but immediately runs away as if I'm the devil. It must have been something I said. School is great and all, but I want to get going. There are cat Pokemon out there that need to be caught. But then, guess what? We're stopped by Nemona! Is her newfound adoration and propensity to be around us starting to scare anyone else? Any hoodles. We walk down some stairs, we see Arvin, Cassiopeia reveals themselves to the group, the dragon that saved us earlier becomes a bike, wow what a downgrade, and just like that, the treasure hunt begins. Alright, so the first thing on our agenda is to acquire more kittens. First off is Shinx, one of my favorite electric types because of Luxray. I mean, come on, look at this hunk of a Pokemon. Next is a Litleo that I found in South Area Province 3. Because this game is open world and I can catch all of these Pokemon in many different areas, I'm deciding for the sake of the Nuzlocke, if we see a cat, we catch the cat. However, since Litleo is 3 levels over the level cap, I'm unable to use my only Fire-type Pokemon before the Bug and Grass gyms. That is not ideal. Shrugging off the disappointment that are these two cats, we head west towards the olive fields of Cortando for my first gym fight against Katie the Bugsy Buff Baker. On my way though, I found the prettiest darn sheep of my life. It's like one of those pink sheeps from Minecraft. But like my grandma once said, if it isn't a cat, kill it with a bat. My encounter for this area is an Eevee. 50% cat, 50% fox, 50% rabbit. And with it, we can choose between 82 different Pokemon! So many possibilities, so little time! However, the answer is immediately obvious. Seeing how most of the cats are taking super effective damage from fighting, I'm gonna have to get an Espeon. So we add Eevee to the team and set off slaying every Jigglypuff that dares to get in our way. Then, as I crest over a hill, I see what can only be described as an absolute angel sent from the heavens above. Our beautiful angel turns out to be a level 15 Meowth with a flying type Terra. What are the odds? Up until this point, I was a little bit worried about not having any super effective moves to deal with Katie's bug types, but now that we have Meowth who knows Aerial Ace, whew, oh baby, are we gonna catch some bugs. Before I can exterminate all the bugs from Cortando, I must complete the honorary olive roll, and let me just say, it was a blast. Nothing I love more than pushing oversized balls into oversized goals while on the back of a futuristic dragon. With the humongous olive stored safely away in its giant basket, I can finally get a taste of Katie's big bug bun. I'm gonna be honest with you all now, it took me about an hour to plan for this fight. I'm nervous. This is my first challenge video and I want it to go well. So yeah, an hour planning how to beat 3 bugs, but in the end though, all it really took was leading Meowth, terrestrializing, faking out the nimble, and then continuing with the Aerial Ace sweep. Yeah, that's a Meower I'm never getting back. After the battle, Shinx evolves into Luxio, nice, and Sprigatito evolves into Florigato, whose design I absolutely love. Plus the yo-yo is a super nice touch. Now with the team significantly stronger, and the first badge in our possession, we jet across the complete opposite side of the region to Artisan City in the Grass Gym. Upon my arrival, I head straight for the gym building to begin my gym test. I'm stopped by Nemona, no surprise, pretty sure she's stalking me at this point, and then set about the glorious task of collecting Sunflora around the city. Look at the lads run. With the Sunflora safely put away in the paddock, it's time to challenge Artisan City's gym leader, Brassius, the snobby artist who is apparently watching me from atop the windmill this whole time. Brassius leads with Petalil, while I lead with Eevee. I decided to terrestrialize immediately to double the power of Eevee's Covet. Petalil responds with a Mega Drain, doing only 10 damage. I follow up with a Covet, killing Petalil. Next out is Smoliv, and the strategy is the same. We use Covet, Smoliv Razor Leaves, and we collect another kill with Covet. Last out is Brassius' ace, Sudowoodo, who is able to Terra into a grass type, something I really love about the game, including a Pokemon that's not the gym's type and then terrestrializing into it. I'm a fan. Sudowoodo, with 100 base attack and 115 defense, is a force to be reckoned with, especially with my all physically attacking team. I decide to sand attack with Eevee, knowing I am going to need some attacks to miss if I'm going to stand a chance. Sudowoodo goes for Trailblaze, which unfortunately connects, bringing Eevee to 11 HP and increasing the rock's speed. This forces me to switch. I decide to go into Luxio, forgetting she doesn't have Intimidate, who then gets hit by a rock throw. The next turn I go for Thunder Wave, hoping to slow Sudowoodo, but it goes for another Trailblaze, which unfortunately crits, knocking out Luxio. What a catastrophe. However, we cannot let Luxio die in vain. I send in Meowth to avenge our fallen Furball. We use Fake Out to get a little chip damage and follow up with Aerial Ace, both moves doing very little to the Sudowoodo. However, his first rock throw misses. I go for another Aerial Ace, trying to get as much damage off him as possible before switching again. Sudo follows up with a Trailblaze, bringing Meowth down to 1/5 of his HP. With our back against the wall and only one Pokemon left, we switch into our ace, Lil Sump. Armed with the Sharp Beak and Aerial Ace as well, Lil Sump is ready to kill. I switch into Trailblaze, which is not very effective. Sudowoodo then connects with a Rock Throw, taking the Weak Cat down to yellow. I go for Aerial Ace, but it's not enough to kill. If Sudowoodo crits me, the run is over. But in a brilliant change of fate, Sudowoodo's Rock Throw misses, and Sump is able to finish him off with an Aerial Ace, earning us our second gym and absolutely flummoxing Brassius the Asius. As great as a win feels, it is overshadowed by the first loss of the run. I'll miss you, Luxio. If only you had Intimidate, you would still be here. Maybe. Probably not. With that badge though, our new level cap is 24, allowing Litleo officially on the team. And while getting the team ready for our next challenge, Eevee evolves into Espeon. Additionally, while I was randomly faffing about in South Province Area 3, I stumbled upon a Zangoose, the cat ferret Pokemon. An absolute heavy hitter. Since I was in the area and got bored of mugging my fellow classmates with my gang of cats, I decided to go and help my good buddy Arvin with his giant Pokemon thing. I decided to lead with the Ganja Cat, terrestrializing, one-shotting, and forcing Cloth to scurry away like the shellfish he is. We give chase and are joined by Arvin and his shelter, another shellfish. 2 seed bombs do the trick, and Arvin rewards me with a tight sandwich. Sadly, it's time to go to class and get some education, and I know you all are probably thinking, wow, Mayano, you've got to be kidding me. Are you for real? No? You didn't like that? Well, here's Salvatore, and ooh, wee is he a dreamboat. Salvatore here teaches language, and once I pass his class and become good friends with him, he's gonna give us a little gift. But more about that later. Now, it's time for the 3rd gym leader, Iono. And by Iono, I of course mean Nemona. My lovely rival, who's definitely obsessed with losing to me, has come to challenge me yet again. Knowing how much I love cats, rudely leads Rockruff, trying to scare me off, but I refuse to bow to the dog overlords and sends out Meowth. Completely on accident because I did not know this fight was going to happen. So I instead swap into Florgato, taking a rock throw on the way in. Knowing she can't stop the power of the Weed Cat, I terrestrialize and start seed bombing, taking out Rockruff, Palmy, and the incredibly flamboyant enemy of the state, Quaxwell. Once again, after every defeat, Nemona looks at me the way I look at my cat, taking the biggest poop of his life in my living room. Iono's gym test was by far my favorite out of all the others. Looking for the director while he tries to hide is kind of hilarious, and after wiping out their gym trainers, I'm ready to face Iono and absolutely stunt on her and her little silly viewers. I love being used for other people's content. Gives my life meaning, purpose even. Oh wow, you got a dono, Lucky? Alright, how about the battle? I lead with Meowth to fake out Iono's Wattrel and follow up with a Scratch, both boosted by Silk Scarf, doing about 2/3. As Wattrel then follows up with Spark, knocking Meowth yellow. I go for one last Scratch, killing Wattrel, as next out is Bellybolt. I switch out into Florgato as Bellybolt goes for Spark, doing minimal damage. Knowing his only attacking moves are Spark and Water Gun, I decide to Hone Claws and immediately regret not using it again, as the first Seed Bomb does lousy damage, also proccing Bellybolt's ability Electromorphosis, which charges his next Spark. My saving grace, however, is the Shell Bell Lil Sump is holding. This held item heals the Pokemon holding it 1/8 of the damage dealt, which in this case was barely enough HP to ensure Sump's survival, but then we got paralyzed by Bellybolt, forcing out Zangoose. The ferret eats a Spark and returns with a massive slash, knocking out Bellybolt. Can't charge your body when you're dead. Bellybolt's death results in Espeon leveling up and learning Psybeam. Luxio's out next though with his Intimidate, lowering Zangoose's attack. Doesn't matter though, since we were expecting this. I switch out into Litleo, who outspeeds Luxio and uses Bulldoze, dropping Luxio's speed as Litleo is hit with another Spark, dropping us to only 2 HP. This is turning into quite the cat fight. I switch back into Zangoose, who is hit by a Spark, getting paralyzed. But because of the speed drop from Bulldoze, I'm able to outspeed and kill with Night Slash. Now it's time for Mismagius, who has an Electric Taro with the ability Levitate, resulting in her having 0 weaknesses. But I have a plan. I switch into Espeon as Mismagius terrestrializes and goes for Confuse Ray. Knowing Hex is coming, I switch into Meowth, who is unaffected by Ghost type moves. Now, since Mismagius has changed her type from Ghost to Electric, we can hit her with a Fake Out to get some chip damage before switching back into Espeon, who dodges Mismagius' Charge Beam. Now's the fun part. Knowing she is using Hex again, I tear her into a normal type and use Light Screen. Having damage from special moves, rendering Mismagius basically useless, as Hex doesn't affect me. I set up one Calm Mind and get confused. But it doesn't matter because Espeon ignores the confusion and hits with the Psybeam, takes about 7 damage from a Charge Beam, then just snaps out of confusion entirely like the powerful psychic pussycat she is, knocking out Mismagius and giving us her 3rd gym badge. Immediately after showing Iono that OBS is actually better than Streamlabs OBS, I'm once again face to face with a lady whose hair looks like something a cat would play with. But it's back to school and sweet savory Mr. Salvatore for me. He asks the class some questions, I answer them incorrectly, he scolds me. Then
It's time for the midterm, and I absolutely crush it. Me gusta, te amo, je m'appelle Cloud. I am a master of language. With midterms over, we try to continue our quest to become Paldea region champion. However, we're stopped by Cassiopeia, who instructs us to take on the Team Star base nearby. I oblige and come face to face with what can only be described as the greatest Pokemon character in history, Baby Boomer Johnny Bravo, or more famously Clive for this occasion. Taking on the Team Star base couldn't have possibly been any easier, and the Team Star minigame even easier than that. With Team Star's roadblock out of the way, I can continue to our next spot, Cascarafa City, home to Kofu and his delicious water types. However, before I can challenge the Cascarafa Cutthroat Chef champion, he breezes right past me, and I'm tasked with delivering the childish chef his Venonat wallet in the nearby city of Porto Miranda, just across the desert. After delivering the wallet, taking down a sweet boy, and auctioning on some food, I can finally take on Big Poppy Kofu and also this random grandma. Big Kof leads with Veluza as I go for Persian, which by now you know what I'm doing. Fake out, then into foul play, leaving Veluza barely alive. He responds with an Aqua Cutter as I finish him off. Veluza will make a fancy feast for my kit of cats. Out next is Wugtrio, the slipperiest little lads in the game. I decided to stay in a nasty plot, doing over half but lowering Persian speed. No matter. After taking a headbutt, I swap one cat in for another. Florgato takes 2 headbutts from Wugtrio before she's able to KO him with Seed Bomb. Next out is Crabominable. We both Terrasilize. I go for Seed Bomb, expecting the kill, but it's not enough. It doesn't matter though, because Crabominable's next attack slam misses, and I finish with another Seed Bomb. Wow, we almost lost Lil Sump for real. With Kofu defeated, that is half the gyms out the way and a fresh new fit. I figured it was time to take care of some Titans, so I quickly head up the mountains south of Cascarafa, dodging Mega Dookies being dropped by the Open Sky Titan Bombardier. I once again lead with Persian because the fake out strategy is the best strategy, and I completely take out the Stork in 2 turns. I'm then joined by Arven, and together we send the bird on its merry way to hopefully terrorize families with screaming babies. Arven serves me a sandwich, I find out he has a heart of gold, and Miraidon can swim. Looking good and feline good, we lust for battle as we terrorize the countryside, evolving Litleo into Pyroar and Florgato into Meowscarada, who learns Flower Trick, a 70 base power move that never misses and always crits. I mean, come on. These next few battles are going to be like taking milk away from a kitten. To test this hypothesis, I head straight for the 5th gym in Medali City, where we're once again asked to acquire food. I order correctly and force paying customers to abandon their tables so we can fight the greatest character to come out of the Pokemon universe, Larry. The complete opposite of SpongeBob Larry, Pokemon Larry is a melancholy businessman and a user of normal types. I love him. My strategy to take down my love Larry is genius. I decide to lead Espeon, who is holding a Chesto while Larry goes for Kamala, who will either use Sucker Punch, a Dark-type priority move that is super effective against Espeon but only hits if I attack as well, or Yawn, which puts me to sleep, hence the berry. Seeing as it's 50-50, I go for Calm Mind regardless. The first 2 turns, Kamala goes for Sucker Punch, both fail, but third, he finally uses Yawn. Doesn't matter. I use Calm Mind, Espeon falls asleep, eats the sweet treat, and wakes up ready to show Larry the business. Using Psybeam, I knock out Kamala, and then proceed to knock out the Dunsparce, a swell lad, and Staraptor, a sexy lad, to give ourselves the 5th gym badge. And who's waiting for me after my scrumptious meal with Larry? None other than my partner in crime, Nemona, challenging me yet again, proving rivals consistently have the worst timing. Out first for Nemona is Lycanroc, and since Espeon led against Larry, he's back out again, much to my chagrin. We immediately switch to Meowscarada, taking a not very effective bite, Terrassilizing and returning with Trailblaze for the kill. Next out is Sliggoo, and I go for Slash, but looking back, Flower Trick would have one-shot. No matter, after getting hit by a Dragon Pulse, another Slash kills, bringing in Palmo, who dies to a Flower Trick, leading to Nemona's new ace, Quaquavol. And despite terroring, falls to 1 Flower Trick. It's official. Move over Fuecoco. The Weed Cat is my new favorite starter. Flower Trick plus Meowscarada's insane speed, automatic. I have no time to revel in my spectacular sweep because it's back to the Silver Tongue Sweetheart Salvatore for yet another language lesson. This time in Pokemon, and is brought to you by Pikachu and his noise of sadness. To prepare for our next gym battle, I decided to take on another Team Starbase, this time against leader Mela and her fire types. We made quick work on her team and salute her for wearing such insane boots. While getting the team up to level cap is brought to my attention, you can find roaming evolutions in the wild, so I immediately hunt down an Umbreon and add it to the team. No, Sableye, not you. With the 6th spot finally filled, the full roster at level 42 and the gym test passed, it's time to take on Montenevra's city's gym leader, the Rad Rapper herself, Rhyme and her ghost types. I deny the rap battle, which I always lose, because I mean, come on guys, look at me. Obviously I lose. I'm a cat. Rhyme is a double battle, so we lead favorite Mon Meowscarda and newest Mon Umbreon against Rhyme's Mimikyu and Banette. I immediately Terra Meowscarda, removing our dark type and getting rid of our weakness to Mimikyu's Play Rough, and then use Hone Claws to prepare for the sweep. Mimikyu responds with Slash into Umbreon, and Banette connects with both of my Mons using Icy Wind, dealing almost a third to Meowscarda and lowering our speed. 2 can play at that game though, so Umbreon uses Snarl, dealing half to Banette and destroying Mimikyu's disguise. Snarl then uses up Umbreon's Throat Spray, increasing special attack. It doesn't even really matter though, because after terastallizing, the crowd cheers us on, begging for the demise of their beloved gym leader, giving both of my Pokemon an Omni Boost. I oblige, of course, as the evil cult leader I am, and return with Flower Trick and Snarl. Before I can kill, however, Banette hits us with a pitiful Sucker Punch, knowing he's about to be destroyed, as Flower Trick kills Mimikyu, and Snarl takes out Banette. Next out is Toxtricity and Houndstone.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Inspired by the massacre they are witnessing, the crowd gives us another Omni Boost. Realizing what's happening, Rhyme, using the last of her powers, summons all the dogs to bear witness to the power of feline friendship. Meowscarda hits Toxtricity with +3 super effective Night Slash, KOing and sending him to the Shadow Realm. Before Houndstone falls, he hits a powerful Play Rough on Umbreon, who if not boosted, might not have survived. So long and prosper, Umbreon. After putting dogs in their place once again and the 6th badge in our hands, we set out to help best friend Forever Arvin deal with a massive worm. I think cats eat worms, so no reason to be worried. And speaking of eating, looks like Toadscroll's on the menu? Don't eat that sandwich. With the Orthworm defeated, we bound our way to the southwestern town of Alfornada and come face to face with my stalker. Out first is Lycanroc, but this time I'm prepared and lead with Meowscarda, immediately tearing and using Hone Claws as we're hit with a sand attack. 1 Trailblaze to KO Lycanroc, 1 Night Slash to KO Goodra, and 2 more Flower Tricks to KO both Palmot and Quacklequavel. Nemona, you've lost 5 times in a row. Are you feline okay? To help me cope with the stress of seeing my stalker again, I practice controlling my emotions with Zangoose. With my anger in check, it's time to face the 6th gym leader, TikToker Tulip. Her first Pokemon is Resident Goofy Goober Farigiraf, while I go with Umbreon, this time equipped with Calm Mind and Leftovers. We Terra and go for Calm Mind as Farigiraf sets up a Reflect, boosting defense. No matter, we are only feline, like dealing special damage in this battle. I Calm Mind again while Farigiraf hits us with a Crunch, doing minimal damage as we heal almost back to full with the Leftovers. We Calm Mind and get crunched once more, this time lowering our defense. Scared of what's to come, I Calm Mind once more as another Crunch connects. Tired of getting bitten by a giraffe, Umbreon KOs with a Snarl. Next out is Gardevoir, the one I was afraid of. However, with my +4 special attack and defense, she is no problem as a Dazzling Gleam deals a small chunk to Umbreon. We return with a Dark Pulse, which KOs, leading to Espartha, who after hitting with Quick Attack, falls just as Gardevoir had. Outlast is Florges, a Fairy type. Fairy resists Dark, and those are the only type of moves I have on Umbreon. But then Tulip Terras Florges into a Psychic type, making her weak to our perfect Umbreon, falling to 1 last Dark Pulse. I would like to thank Tulip and Calm Mind for this badge. Thank you. As our gym circuit comes to a close, so too does our time with the cat's favorite Professor, Salvatore. After just 1 more class with the Professor and a cumulative final exam, we are rewarded with some XP candies. However, we are not completely done with the Professor yet. So I corner him in the staff room and beg him to be friends with me. He obliges, but only if I help him bury a Palmo in the vegetable garden. I agree, and for my troubles, I am gifted Galarian Meowth. After taking down the future version of my most beloved Donphan and bullying another Team Star leader, it's up the mountain we go. Whee! Shiny Miraidon! We finished the gym circuit on the peak of Mount Glaciado against gorgeous gym leader Grusha, Ice-type extraordinaire. Out first for Grusha is Frostmoth, while I send out Salvatore's parting gift to me, Berserker. Knowing Frostmoth has no super effective moves against our pure steel berserker, we terrasilize and go for Hone Claws after Frostmoth misses with Blizzard. Frostmoth is able to set up Tailwind, however, boosting his team's speed before falling to a super effective critical hit Iron Head. Out next for Grusha is Beartic, who outspeeds with a Meowsive super effective Earthquake before falling to our even more Meowsive super effective Iron Head. Out next is Titan, an absolute brute and personal fan favorite. We stay in, praying to Bastet and all the other cat gods to keep Berserker alive as Liquidation connects, leaving us with only 10 HP as we follow up once more with another Iron Head. Risky move, I know, but satisfying nonetheless. Outlast is Altaria, a beautiful ace, only rivaled by that of Grusha. With that being said, I am without mercy, sending out Zangoose, who after 2 brick breaks takes down Altaria, winning us our 8th and final gym badge. With our Victory Road quest out of the way, the cats and I decide to bound around the island, taking down Ortega, Dondozo, and Tatsurigi. Then, while looking for items, I found a cat stranded on a plateau. Like the good pet owner I am, I scooped the cat up and put it on the team. Before bequeathing myself to the Elite Four, I take out one last team star leader, proving once and for all with the right catitude, anything is possible. I'll see myself out. Just kidding! We've got professors to take down, and with how formidable our team is, no one's gonna stand a chance. Here's what they look like. We have Adamant Berserker with Tough Claws, Leftovers, Steel Terra, using Stealth Rock, Substitute, Swords Dance, and Close Combat. Second is Modest Jolteon with Volt Absorb and an Electric Terra holding the Magnet, using Thunderbolt, Thunderwave, Volt Switch, and Shadow Ball. Third, we have Hasty Pyroar with Unnerve and Normal Terra type, with a Throat Spray using Flamethrower, Work Up, Hyper Voice, and Hyper Beam. Fourth is Brave Zangoose with Immunity and Normal Terra, holding an Expert Belt, using Night Slash, Close Combat, Swords Dance, and Ice Punch. Fifth, the Diamond of the Ball, Adamant Meowscarda with Overgrow and a Grass Terra type, holding the Life Orb using Night Slash, Play Rough, U-Turn, and Flower Trick. And finally, Quiet Umbreon with Synchronize and a Dark Terra type, holding the Light Clay using Calm Mind, Reflect, Baton Pass, and Light Screen. Let's take down some teachers. First up is Final Four member Rika, Master of Ground type, which is best type. Out for Rika is Wishcash, while I go for Berserker. An interesting choice, I know, but setting up Stealth Rocks is necessary for this fight to go perfect. Wishcash responds to my terrible pun with an Earth Power that would have killed if it had crit. Doesn't matter though, because out next is Lil Sump, who eats another Earth Power, terrestrializes, and begins the sweep, knocking out Wishcash with a Flower Trick. Next for Rika is Caramerupt, who takes damage from the Stealth Rocks, enabling Lil Sump to one-shot with Flower Trick. The rest of the team falls in similar fashion, first Donphan, then Doug Trio, and finally, Rotund Roundboy, Clodsire, taking down Rika. Second is actual league champion Poppy, a blacksmith wielding a massive hammer that loves steel types and leads off with Caparaja. Knowing how much steel types hurt, I lead Umbreon and we immediately set up Reflect, as Poppy steals our strat from before and goes for Stealth Rocks. Now is when the cheesiness begins. Umbreon uses Calm Mind and then dodges a Play Rough. Knowing damage on Umbreon doesn't matter, we go for another Calm Mind, getting hit by Play Rough in the process. Weary of a crit, Umbreon Baton passes out into Pyroar, setting up the battle for the Serengeti. We take damage from the stones and a not very effective Play Rough, healing with Leftovers before responding with a twice boosted super effective Flamethrower, leaving Pyroar Queen of the Jungle. Up next for the throne, though, is Bronzong, who despite having the highest special defense of the team, still falls to my twice boosted super effective Flamethrower. You guys want to guess what happens to the bird? Magnezone is out fourth and is the only member to survive our Flamethrower thanks to Surdy, but then gets burned. Sadly, it sets up a light screen, having Flamethrower's damage before it succumbs to its wounds. Our Reflect wears off at the worst possible time, as out comes Poppy's body double and ace, Tankaton. Tankaton, a massive physical attacker, is a force to be reckoned with, however. Predicting the Stone Edge from Tinka, I Terra Pyro into a normal type, removing our weakness to rock types, as Tinka Terras as well. We connect with a Flamethrower that kills without light screen, while Big Tink responds with a predicted Stone Edge. One more Flamethrower KOs though, taking down Poppy, who is honestly an underrated champion. Go check her out, guys. Third out is none other than everyone's favorite Pokemon character literally ever, Larry. Except this time he's coming at us with flying types instead of his normal types. Out first for fan favorite Larry is Tropius, while we respond with Meowscarda to get some chip damage in with U-turn. We switch out into Jolteon risk-free as Tropius goes for a useless Sunny Day. The end is nigh for Larry and his flock. Endbringer Jolteon then terrors and KOs Tropius with a Thunderbolt, and then proceeds to do the same with Larry's entire avian team.
How you feline after that sweet Blair?
With only one more Hassel on our way, we are challenged by Hassel the Dragon Master, an innocent enough looking man carrying a dark secret in his dragons. Out first for this ferocious dragon man is Noivern, as I lead Zangoose and go for an Ice Punch after getting hit by a Super Fang. We KO with the crit, leading to Hassel's next Pokemon Dragalge. Expecting the sludge, we switch out to Berserker, who resists poison. We then Terrasilize and go for Swords Dance, raising our attack right in Hassel's smug face. He goes for Hydro Pump, which misses, enabling us to collect the kill with an Iron Head. Out next is Haxorus, who outspeeds and crunches before we can KO with yet another Iron Head. This is followed by Flapple, who after Leech Seeding, faces the same fate as the previous dragons. Out last is Gen 9 pseudo-legendary Baxcalibur, who terras and goes for a Brick Break, leaving Berserker in the red. The Viking responds with an Iron Head, leaving Bax with just a sliver. Baxcalibur heals from Leech Seed as we switch out into Pyroar, who barely survives a Brick Break, and to end the battle with a bang, we KO Baxcalibur with a Hyper Beam, securing our victory over the Elite Four. However, it ain't over just yet. With a good luck from Larry, we confront the Paldea Pokemon champion, Geeta. She leads with a fashionable bird, so I retaliate with a stylish cat. I postpone Terrasilizing, instead going for Night Slash, getting the crit and KOing the Fashionista. Next out is Go-Goat, who has seen a huge resurgence in Gen 9. Go Go-Goat. Knowing a Horn Leech is coming, we U-turn, taking the goat down to a third, as out comes Pyroar, who takes Play Rough. I was wrong. Nicely. The next turn, we go for Flamethrower, killing the Grass Goat, leading to the Icy Hunk Avalog. We decided to Terrasilize as another Flamethrower kills off Avalog. Out fourth for Geeta is King Gambit, the worst hugger known to man. We stay in yet again, going for another Flamethrower, taking King to a sliver of red, who counters with Kowtow Cleave, leaving us with even less of a sliver of red. One more Flamethrower does the trick though, knocking the King from his stump. The Queen reigns supreme. However, next is Veluza, and I'm ready to end this, so out comes Meowscarda, who is sprinkled with some water. With our flower nice and moist, we take out Veluza with Flower Trick. Out last for La Primera Geeta is Glimora, the alien bell pepper Pokemon, who rock terras, doubling our next Flower Trick, which one-shots, taking down Glimora and defeating Geeta. This is a hollow victory to us, however, because there's only one person I consider champion, the only person I've had to file a restraining order against, Champion Nemona. It is only right that our final bout be the climax between dog and cat to settle once and for all who is the superior pet. We waste no time in establishing dominance as we Terrasilize Meowscarda and go for Flower Trick. The poor pup never stood a chance. This brings out Sap Sipper Gudra, rendering Flower Trick useless. We counter with Play Rough though, taking down the Snot Dragon. This leads to Palmont, who falls identically to Gudra. One Play Rough and it's time for the Dunsparce, Troll Pokemon of the Century. We use Flower Trick, doing nearly enough. The Dunsparce, knowing it's his one chance to do damage, counters with Coil, doing nothing as we kill with U-turn, swapping out into Berserker, while Nemona responds with a Steel type of her own in Earthworm. Berserker takes a super effective Body Press and responds in turn with Close Combat, which of course the Alaskan Bullworm survives with 3%. We swap out Berserker, hoping to go deathless against the champion. Out comes Jolteon, who munches a Body Press and vomits back a Thunderbolt for the kill. Jolteon is still the move here, as Nemona's last mon and water type ace, Donald Duck, is out last and is immediately outsped and finished with one Thunderbolt. And just like that, cats are better than dogs, I am better than Nemona, and our victory road journey comes to an end. Or is it? Fine, one last battle against aggravated intelligence Professor Toro, to prove once and for all that cats are positively perfect. Out first for the late professor's insane AI is Iron Moth, and we respond to this heathen with Espeon. We start off with Calm Mind, raising special attack and defense, as Mothra goes for Sludge Wave connecting. We double down on Calm Minds, taking another Sludge Wave to the dome. We heal back to full with Morning Sun, and then KO Iron Moth with a Psychic one-shot. The next metallic abomination is Iron Jugulus. We stay in, expecting a Dark type, and unsure if Espeon outspeeds, decides to normal Terra and use Terra Blast for the KO. Out third is Iron Hand Teriyama, the sumo who falls to 1 psychic. This leads to Mechagodzilla and his uranium heart. But not even nuclear radiation can stop the destruction of Espion's psychic. Falling from the tower next is Iron Bundle, who manages to at least land a drill peck before falling all the same to another psychic. It's not over yet though, as Turo drops his last Pokemon, Iron Valiant. Knowing this is the end of the line, I decide to stay in and sacrifice Espeon to get a free switch into Jolteon. It was an honor being your trainer, Espeon. We will miss you. Jolteon then goes for a Volt Switch, bringing in Berserker, who resists a Spirit Break. We then stay in to sacrifice Berserker for another clean switch. It's been a sad battle, but the deaths have been necessary, as out comes Jolteon, who finishes Iron Valiant, gaining us the victory and completing the game.
Oh my god, this video is finally here. I'm finishing it up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want to get it out to you guys. I've been working on this since November of last year, and it's finally ready. I'm so glad you guys can enjoy it. If you've made it this far, I do have a task for you. Go back in the video and see how many cat puns I made. If you can DM me the correct number of cat puns, I'll give you 1 Mayo coin, which is redeemable for any item in my room. It could be yours for free. Just go figure out how many cat puns there are. You're gonna enjoy it. I know you will. Well, yeah, if you like this video, go tell your mom. I bet she'll enjoy it too. And I will see you guys in the next video. Saludos, muchachos. Bye.